B'siyata d'shmaya, welcome back everybody. We're starting our next series called Humans at Risk. Does the fact that we're human, or that anyone is human, put them at risk of being imperfect? Well, how would the answer to that question serve us? It's very simple. If we understand ourselves, if we understand others, it will help us judge ourselves and others favorably, putting things into their perspective. We all have the nature to judge others. If we're already judging, let's do it right. If we learn to differentiate between facts and opinions, who would want to adopt an opinion rather than a fact? Let's see what the facts are. Let's see how all of us human beings, what makes us tick? What makes good people do bad things? Is it because they're bad? There might be a negative part of them that's contributing, but is that the whole picture? So you might be wondering, am I trying to justify negative behaviors? And the answer is definitely not. There's HAR, a person is responsible, a person will be held accountable. But is that the whole picture? Why do good people do bad things? Is it just because they're bad? If we understand why, it will help us focus on repairing and improving on those areas. If somebody's doing something wrong, I'll give you a typical example. Very often a bocha doesn't come to Shachris in yeshiva. So he's going to learn Hilchas being lazy. That's what typical mashgiach might say to you. Learn about zrizas. Or somebody else might say, the reason you're coming late is because you're getting up late because you're going to bed too late. So maybe you should learn about going to bed on time. If we understand the source of why we're doing things wrong, it will help us work on the right areas instead of focusing on the wrong areas. There's a mitzvah of betzedek tishpoites hamisecha. The Mishnah says in Avos, the Gemara in Shavuos, there's a chiyuv to be done lekav schus, and it doesn't mean to have some crazy, wacky imagination of why this person came late to Seder or to shul was because the bus got stuck in a piece of chewing gum. That's called being stupid. That's not called done lekav schus. That's not called betzedek tishpoit hamisecha. If in every single situation we can find a don lekav schus, which is tzedek, it's correct, it's justice, it must be that you can find something good and something justifiable in every negative act. The Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Yud Zayin goes even further. We have a Beis Din, a huge Beis Din of 70 plus dayanim who are judging whether this person is chayiv misa for an aveira he did. And the Gemara says, Kulon l'choiva, poitrin isa. If all the dayanim in the Beis Din say that he's chayiv, it was so clear that there's no way of being done l'kav schus. There was nothing positive that could have said, oh, maybe it wasn't his fault, maybe this, maybe that. Then he's actually going to be potter, not chayiv. And the Beis Yaakov from the Ishbitzer writes in Parshas Pinchas, he brings this Gemara, and he says that if it's always the tzad schus that will be held responsible, why were you not stronger than the tzad choiv? If you cannot find the tzad schus, it means everything about this person was bad. If there's nothing good about this person, then he didn't have with what to be nizgaber, with what to overcome his yetzer hara. And he's going to be potter because it's as if he was onus, as if he was forced. If every part of good in me ceased to function, then how can you hold me responsible? So too with ourselves, with our children, with the people around us, our teenagers. It's so important that we understand why people do things wrong. The tzaddikim write that when you're done somebody else lekav schus, even if he doesn't know about it, just in your heart, you're finding some kaf schus, some benefit of the doubt in the other person, that it's not rishus that made him do the aveira, it will actually help bring out those parts in him and give him the strength to overcome his challenges. And in Mitzvah Hashem, in the following clips, we're going to learn about, only from Chazal, but 20 different reasons why people may do things wrong, besides for the fact that you're just a bad person doing bad things. No, I'm a good person, and I did something wrong, and without justifying it, there's no justification for doing something wrong. But there might be 20 things that are out of my control, or limiting my control and my ability to control myself that may have contributed to the avera that I did, to why and how I did the avera, that would serve as a kaf schus. And when we take those 20 points into account, it will be very hard at the end of the day to look at this Rasha and say what a bad person he is. We'll just feel that he must be under so much influence from other, from outside influences, that he just nebuch is stuck in this. It would help us understand him. It would help us guide him and help him understand himself and ultimately overcome his challenges. Looking forward to going through them in our next clips.